Good evening, family. Welcome to another broadcast. So glad to have you guys here. We're going to be starting here momentarily. Just going to give people time to get on here. So glad that you guys can join us. Big shout out, of course, to everybody in the chat. Remember, tonight, family, is Friday night, which means it is movie night. It's going to be movie night tonight, about a half an hour after this broadcast. So give me about a half an hour at the conclusion of this broadcast, and we will be over on mybantu.com, and we will have our showing for tonight. I hope you guys can make it. We had some problems last week, some technical issues, but apparently, I guess they're okay now. So, we should be fine this week. So we'll give it a try again this week. I have actually something else I'm going to show. I can't even remember, quite honestly, what I was showing last week. But yeah, I got Willie in the house. What's up, man? Brittany, how you doing? Brittany, you still here with us in the States, or you back? We got Black Beauty, always. Drum of Praise. We got Team Truth. We have Davion, D Nice, and Kenneth in the house. And anybody else that's coming in, guys, just grab your seat, and we'll be starting here just momentarily. Just kind of a few news things we're gonna hit. Very interesting week. Very interesting week. But we made it. You just got back last week. Okay, all right. Hope your stay was good. And while you guys waiting, make sure you check out sambatree.com. If you're not signed up for the mailing list, make sure you do that. I just checked. We got about 6 more of these left, and then they're going, family. We got 6 more of these left. This has been cleared out, and like I said again, as we come across some things, we already got some other things we're considering right now. And let me see if I can go. That's another one. Let's see what else I got here. So that's another thing there. I didn't get a status on this one. Then, of course, we just added the ginger root. Dried ginger root. You can use that for teas and all that stuff. Back in stock, we got the Made with Moss Purifying Face Cleanser. And we even got the whole kit. The whole little thing, we got that as well. That's just the beginning. Once you start getting into the store, we got a whole lot of stuff. You go over to the garden section, you see we got a whole lot of stuff. My wife and I, we were actually at Home Depot yesterday, and we ran across somebody. He just started talking about copper, and mentioned that how he had some copper jewelry that someone made for him. He was just talking, and he said he put it on his wrist. He used to have a lot of pain in his hand. He said it's gone, completely gone. And I tell you, you can't sleep on that copper, man. Anyway, we sell copper jewelry, but not just that. You can see all the other stuff we have here. Seasonings. You got stuff that you can add for your smoothies. Food seasonings. Stop buying those seasonings out of the store. Just because they put a black man's face on it doesn't mean it's good for you. I'm all about supporting our people, but the sad story is our people, all the time, we end up selling ourselves to the other man, and the other man gonna put some other stuff in there. So no, we don't do that. Okay, we're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it ours. And you can check that out here and then some right here on sambatree.com. We got all kinds of powders and stuff like that, from moringa powders to turmeric, salts, the right kind of salts for your body. We got a whole section of teas. We got a whole section of oils. Check it out again. It's sambatree.com. All right? Yeah. All right, we're going to give it about another 20 seconds or so, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Welcome, family, to this broadcast. This is our community update. We try to do this every Friday right here on our YouTube page. Journeyman and Woman. We try to do this where we try to keep you up to date on some of the things that we're doing, some of the things that we're looking at, some of the things that we're planning to do, and all of that other stuff. So that's what we try to do every Friday. So be sure you're on the lookout for that. Okay. I try to be general on the title, because I had someone last week said, I really like listening to you, but, I came for what the title says. But if you ain't talking about just the title, I got to fast forward through all the other stuff just to get to that. I understand that. I get you. I'm going to try to help you out. But, every time, anytime when we go live, it's never just about the title, because there's so much more we got to talk about. It's been a whole week, since we've actually gone live. Well, we did do the live early this week. That was because of the smoke stuff. But yeah, so even though the title may say that, there's a lot of other stuff we got to talk about too. We're just catching up on some things. That's all. And on this platform, we're about trying to build some type of relationships with people, not just here to like, okay, here's what's going on. 1, 2, 3. And then you just hit the 3 points and then out of here. No, I want to kind of hang out for a little bit. I want to talk a little bit, and just kind of catch up and see how everybody's doing, and get you to catch up and see what's going on out here and all of that stuff. So that's what we do. All right. So if you're a kind of person that's like, shut up and just tell me the point, and so that I can move on to the next video, well, you probably gonna be disappointed here. Okay. So I'm working on it, but that's a work in progress. That's probably it's gonna take a long time for me to get to that point, because I like trying to connect with folks. I guess that's not that's old now. So I guess we're not supposed to do that. So I don't think I'm hit that anytime soon. But anyway, so glad that you are here, and so glad that you guys connected with us this evening. You can always check out our videos. I was really trying to get a podcast up this week on our Digital Plantation podcast. I was planning on having it done today, but it just, this week, it's just been another one of those weeks, man. So I will have it done. I will get one done up. I will get one up there, and we'll add that. So, but I did get a broadcast today over on WONIRadio.com. So if you don't have that app, make sure you check that out. The website again is WONIRadio.com. And every Friday we have a broadcast that goes up. I think it's broadcast about maybe 3 times a day, I think it is. So you could check us out over there as well, because we upload content, there and other places as well. So again, that website is WONIRadio.com. If you don't have the app, it does have an app. You can just go to your app store, an Android or the Apple, the iPhone store, or whatever, and just do a search for WONIRadio.com. And you'll find it. It's free of charge. You can download it. It's not just me. There's a lot of other wonderful people on there that's providing some great content as well. So again, it's WONIRadio.com. All right. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So yeah, this week, yes, very smoky week. Very, very smoky week. And I woke up today. Well, last night I could tell it was getting better. I could definitely tell it was getting better. And so I cracked open a window because it was just getting to be too much. I was like, man, I got to have some fresh air up in here. And so I cracked the window open a little bit. And then this morning, today, I woke up and I could really tell there was a difference, and went outside, beautiful blue sky. I didn't see any sign at all of any kind of haze, or I didn't smell any smoke, nothing. And where earlier this week we were up in the mid to upper 400s in count. That was insane. We were up that high. We went from being that high to now today, it was like down to like 60 something. So yeah, it was much, much better today. And man, I was opening up any and every all windows. I was just trying to get that fresh air in, and then I went out. Of course, I was making up reasons to go out today, and I got one of those acai bowls. And usually I'll just get it and sit in the car and eat it. I was like, no, they got some outdoor tables, which I really don't do, especially by myself. But I said, I'm gonna sit outside today, man. I'm gonna sit down and just enjoy just a few minutes here. And it was an old man over there. I cut my eye. He was sitting with his wife. He was knocked out. And because I guess he was just enjoying the moment. So I was like, man, I'm with you. So, but I ain't gonna be sleeping here. But anyway, so yeah, that's how the day was. It was really nice. The city and all that was very clear. I just came back from the city. It was very clear and all of that. Family, listen, let me just say this on this topic of the smoke and all of that. I have been on social media, and I'm telling you, the conspiracy theories that are floating out here, we don't even need the government to, as far as putting conspiracy theories out here. We don't need the CIA. We don't need the Department of Homeland Security. Because all you got to do is spend just 5 minutes, if not less, on social media, be it Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and you're going to find that there are many people out here that are saying all kinds of stuff. There's this one that's out here that was saying that they were trying to tie it to, they said, never in my life have I ever seen orange smoke, and they're saying it's a forest fire. I've never seen that. And I'm sitting up there with my mouth wide open. I was like, bro, you never seen that? You've never seen how it appears orange at certain times of the day? You've never seen that? I've seen that many times, especially if you're in Southern California. I mean, that's just a norm. I mean, it's not throughout the whole day. It's just certain parts of the day you'll see it where the sky will appear orange. And it's just, it has something to do with what's being the wavelengths that are being refracted, from the sun because of the particles or whatever in the sun. That's it. That's all it is. And they were trying to tie it to some. There was a train, I think in the Southwest somewhere where what was being reported was there was a lot of chemicals. That was a certain chemical that was on there, and there was several cars that were carrying it. And people were saying that it's been stolen and they're using it now, and they're using it on the people. This is the smoke. This is the chemical. And if you look up the chemical, it says when it burns orange. And people were running with that. I mean, I was like, because I was reading this and I'm like, maybe it's just going to be a few people. No, there was a ton of people that were like, yeah, you're right. I think that too. There was a ton of people that were running. I'm amazed at the amount of people that run with these things and not even checking or anything. Because my first logical question would be, well, if that's the case, and it's this chemical that was supposed to be deadly, how many people died? I mean, was there a massive amount of people that died? I don't remember hearing anything. My neighbors seemed to be fine. Everybody seemed to be fine. I mean, it's just smoke. I mean, it wasn't anything beyond that. I mean, I can understand people here in the East Coast, if you're not used to something like that, I can understand, how people, some people may have been freaking out, but I mean, the majority of people that I saw walking around, they weren't even wearing masks. And I went out there today. I didn't see bodies laying all over the place or anything like that. It was fine. But you have so many people that were running with this stuff and saying, oh, we're being massively poisoned. they're using this chemical that came out of this train, and all of this stuff. And see the thing, and then the other thing that I heard, which was even more ridiculous, again, many people were running with this stuff. I'm just really amazed. I think that's the thing that really amazes me, is how many people just run with this stuff and they don't even ask questions at all. I had some people that were tying it to the book of Revelations, where it talks about the pit was open and the smoke that came out. Yes, that's it. That's what it was. It's Revelations. It's happening. The smoke, it's coming out of the pit. And I'm sitting there and I was like, okay, so now we're saying that the pit of hell is in Canada. Okay, so that's what we're saying. It's in Nova Scotia. The pit in Revelations, it's in Nova Scotia now, because and then, but I guess I have a lot more questions, because and nobody take any pictures of it. That whole account talks about how there were locusts that came out, and I haven't heard anything about that. There's a whole lot of stuff I didn't hear, but they just take one smidgen, one slice of something, and people were running with it. And I was just completely amazed. I'm still kind of amazed. I mean, at the fact, I'm like, nobody's like asking anything, probing questions or anything. Nobody's like saying, well, that you're only taking a part of this. I mean, you got to look at the whole thing, So that's, I think, out of this week, if I had anything to say about it, what was most damaging wasn't really the smoke. It was all the things that people were saying that it was, and it panned out to not be the case. And the thing that really gets me with all of that are people who will say this and make these declarations, but when it proves that it's not true, they never go back and say, you know what, I screwed up. You know what, I got it wrong. I didn't, I was a little bit ahead of myself. I thought I knew what I was talking about at that moment, but apparently I didn't, because, it didn't pan out the way I was saying, or kind of leading you on to believe. None of these people, they ever go back. They never go back. And so I see that, like, it's very clear to me that, man, these people never go back. People be throwing out prophecies and things like, they never go back to correct it, or apologize, I should say. But the thing that really gets me is the massive amount of people who just jump and skip right along with the people that's saying it. Like that's okay. Hey, we miss it sometimes. We all miss it sometimes. What? If you got a platform, I don't care if it's big or small, it don't matter. When we have things that happen like this whole smoke situation going on, instead of investing time in what you think it is, it could be this, and the government did this. And, if there was another video that showed it appeared that all the smoke from this forest up in Nova Scotia and Canada, wherever it was, it appeared that it all started simultaneously. So, you could listen. I'm not saying that the government, you just trust the government for everything. I'm not saying it at all. Okay. The government has given us plenty of reasons why we shouldn't trust them at all. So I am not the one that's sitting up here saying that we got to trust the government for everything. Please. I think we should question all of this stuff for real. However, but we also got to use our own we also got to investigate and research before we jump on the social media internets and start spreading stuff that we haven't really investigated at all. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's the thing that really gets me, is the amount of people who don't even bother to check and say, you know what, you said that it was this, but it ain't happened. You know what I'm saying? So we got to, so again, family, you can't give any of these people a pass, because the reason why I'm saying this is because what was really needed, we needed as many voices as possible out here telling people, hey, listen, make sure you're checking on your mom, checking on your parents, make sure that you're getting masks. There may have been people out here that has a hookup on those N95 masks. You know what I'm saying? Out of all the thousands and thousands and thousands of people out there that are sitting up here, you have at least 5 people in the audience that can get a discount on those N95 masks. And then you get someone else who has a gift of administration and distribution. And you can say, hey, listen, let's make a list of everybody that's 60 on up, and we want to make sure that you get one of these masks in your hand. I got a hookup. I get a great discount at my job. You ain't got to worry about it because I'll cover it or whatever. And let's just make sure that all of our people who will be at risk because of this crazy air situation, let's just make sure that could have been done just like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when things like this happen, instead of us sitting back and just, yeah, that's right. That's right. America's about to fall. America's about to fall. Negro, you on the same boat that everybody else is on. You saying that ain't helping everybody else that's on the boat. So you might as well do something. Might as well find some resources to help somebody. You understand what I'm saying? People be sitting right on the boat, on the same boat. Yep, that's right. It's happening. It's happening. I knew it. I knew it. This country is being cursed right now. It's being cursed. Where you do your grocery shopping? Well, I go to Acme around the corner. Well, okay, the country's being cursed, but you're still in the country. So what's your plan to make sure you ain't in that number? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why that's so hard to, again, I mean, you could talk about those things if that's what you want to do. But at the same time, you got many people out here who really need some help. You know what I'm saying? And, and so let's take that talk and all of that energy. And what we should do is start focusing more on how can we tangibly help our people. We got, of course, there's a lot of people in these other countries that need help. There's a lot of stuff going on in these other countries and all of that. But I've said this for a long time now. I'm okay with helping our brothers and sisters on the continent, and that we have done. But you got so many people right here in this country, right here, that got a lot of problems, that got some issues in places like Jackson, Mississippi, the water situation that's going on right now, that's still ongoing. Just because you're not hearing about it doesn't mean it's not still an issue. You got places in Alabama, you got places in Louisiana, all down that southern belt. Our people got a lot of issues. And that's just down there. Up here in the Northeast, the same thing. We got homelessness. It's a whole list of things. Not to mention what we've been talking about is mental health care. So there's a litany of things that instead of sitting back and just kind of like, hey, this country is cursed. Well, okay, the country is cursed, but don't allow, do what you can to make sure that your folks don't get caught up in it. You understand what I'm saying? That is all I'm saying. And if that's too much for you and you think, well, I didn't come here for that. Well, you can click on, but we need to definitely, take these things very seriously because there's so much talent in the room. Even right now, we got so many people who are talented out here, and there's so many things that we can resolve right now if we just put our minds to it, get focused, and just do it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, as we move on. So yeah, it's gotten much better here, the air quality here. So very thankful for that. But it also reminded me again, just the importance. I was like, oh, you know what? I don't have any N95 mask in my go bag. So guess what's going to go up in there? So I'm going to make sure I have those in there because something like that, they were actually showing that ass. They said, are those things really effective for it? With the whole smoke situation? I put it on and I'm going to tell you, I didn't smell anything. I didn't smell a thing. I mean, it was really, it definitely is pretty, effective. Now, I mean, I'm not saying you can go in a full forest fire and wear them, but, for what we dealt with, it definitely, I could tell that it definitely made a difference. So, yeah, you definitely want to get your hands on those N95 masks if you can and just have that stored away, in the event that something like that breaks out in the future in your neck of the woods. You know what I mean? And, someone said, be careful where you're getting your mask from, because they could be putting stuff in there too. Yeah, because I was at the farmer's market and I saw they were selling a whole pack of them. So I was like, yeah, I ain't getting them from there, because the box was looking kind of dusty. You know what I mean? The box looking kind of dusty. I'm like, okay, you've been holding on to them joints a little bit too long. No, I ain't. So anyway, moving on. Tomorrow, yeah. Oh, okay. So tonight, give me at the conclusion of this broadcast, give me about a half an hour, and we will be doing our movie night over on mybondtube.com. All right. And it's not going to really be a movie, but it can be one. It's going to be interesting. And has some very interesting things. I've been checking this thing out, and I'm like, man, this thing is really something. They just kind of telling you a whole lot in here, and they're not even really hiding anything at all. So it's a very current thing that I'm going to show, and I think you guys will enjoy it if you haven't been watching it already. I'm not going to tell you on this platform, okay? We ain't doing that, okay? We ain't going to give away all of our stuff, all right? Let's move on. Okay, so that's tonight. Conclusion of the broadcast. Give me a half an hour. Then head on over to my BondTube, and then we'll do our movie night starting at that time, okay? I don't plan on being here too long. The next thing is tomorrow at around noon. We will be doing our Samba gathering. Now, what that is basically is they're just teachings, basically. It's a time for us to come together. We pray for one another. We talk, and we just have an enjoyable time, and that's where we really delve into some things. We talk about spiritual, matters and stuff. We talk about the Bible. We get into some history. We get into quite a few things there. So we will, the plan is, around noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, we will be getting together over on my BondTube for that. And so tomorrow we are going to be talking about accepting Jesus. That's going to be the topic, accepting Jesus in your heart. And we're going to get into the history of that. Where did that really come from? You're not going to want to miss that one. Okay. We're going to get into that one. Now, like I said, with all of our series, because I get so many people, so many people, things that we have gone through in detail. Like I've gone through great detail, spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Let me just say this. When I was sharing this with someone earlier, I said, what we do on this platform is our goal is to bring up as many facts as possible. We're talking about a particular topic, whatever the topic is. We're going to find as many facts as possible, convenient or non-convenient. I don't care. I'm just trying to pursue the truth, because we've been lied to for so long. Just give me all of it. Okay. As many facts that we can unearth, we can uncover, we can discover, we're going to put as many of those facts on the table as possible. All right. And so we're going even the extra mile by, in this ongoing fact finding mission. We've even come across a great number of books where we said, we got all of these books here. Many of them are already digitized. Let's put them all on a website where it's free of charge for people. They can access that. And if you want more information on that, you can just go to the video that I did. No, not video. Go on the community page here on YouTube. There's a video that I mentioned. Just go there and click on the link, okay? And just follow what I'm saying on there. There's a lot I'm saying on there, but I'm, like I said, again, I'm trying to curtail a lot that I share on here. So if you can't follow that instruction, I can't help you, okay? But yeah, we created a library to allow people, because the goal is, like I said, is to get as many facts on the table as possible that we come across. We're going to put it all on there. And we're presenting it to you as the viewer or the listener. For you as an adult, or teen, it doesn't matter, to make up your own mind. We are not here in the business of telling you what to do. Okay. That is not what I'm doing. That is not what I want to do. Now, there are people out there that got the fancy titles and stuff like that are in that business of telling you what to do. I am not in the business of telling anybody what to do. What all we want to do is to present as many facts and things that we're finding, because we're still learning too on this end, and lay them out. And as you go through it, whatever conclusion you come to on that, and you feel that's right, then you just follow that based on the facts, not something that someone made up, not something that someone conveniently edited out because it doesn't fit a greater narrative. We want our people to be able to look at as many facts as possible and then make up your own decision, make up your own mind, come to your own conclusion on the matter. This is something that things like this whole entire landscape of religion has done. Religion is 100% in the business of telling you what to do and telling you what not to do. I'm not with that game. I'm not in that game at all. So that's what we do on, when we do these Samba gatherings. It's like, hey, listen, this is what we come across, and, here it is. And here's the facts that we've come across. Now, how you're going to digest that or whatever, I'm going to leave that up to you. Now, if you have any questions, if it's something that's not clear or anything like that, you can always, you are more than welcome to reach out and to ask, and we'll be more than happy to answer the best way we can. But we are not in the business of telling grown people what to do, and not at all. Okay. And so, so tomorrow we're going to be talking about the origins of the root of this whole thing about accepting Jesus in your heart. Where exactly did that come from? Now, like I said, again, if that's something that already you feel uncomfortable about, it makes you feel some kind of way, and you're like, I'm probably not ready for that, then I would suggest follow that. And maybe this is not the time for you. Okay. And I'm just saying that just to be real, because, it's just what it is, because what we tell people all the time, go as far as your faith will take you. Okay. And that's it. I'm not trying to punk you down or anything like that. Please don't misinterpret that. I'm not saying that at all. But what we do when we do these Samba gatherings, a lot of times we try to give as much detail as possible. I'll have many, 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 many slides that I'm making available for folks with the links, with the reference information, so that you can take that info and you can take it further into your own study, into your own research, and then you can figure it out even further on your own on that. That's really what the goal is to be a resource center, so that you can take the info and then do your own research. But many of us have been trained and groomed by this system, to, whatever the person on the screen tells you to do, you better do it. And then you look around, you see if other people are doing it, then it's like, okay, I must be right. That's your discernment. No, we need to grow up. We need to grow up, and we need to learn to be able to make up our own minds when it comes to these things. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we do over on when we do these Samba gatherings over there. And I can tell you right now, what I'm going to do is, we're going to have that discussion. We're going to go through some things. Then I'm probably going to take a week off. Well, I'm going to give y'all a week off to really digest that. Because once you start going through that, and when I start looking into this topic, it all actually started with something my wife said. It's something I have been thinking about for some time, but never really took the time to investigate it until now. And then once I started looking into it for myself, I was just like, my goodness. And so, yeah, this is going to be something that's going to be challenging. All right. It's going to challenge you. And you're going to be left with some decisions that you're going to have to make on your own. Okay. Just as simple as that. So you're more than welcome to join us If you can't join us at 12 noon, that's fine because it will be recorded like all of them are. And then we will post them over on mybondtube.com. And then the audio version will be made available over on what's the thing called? SoundCloud. All right. So yeah, you're definitely gonna. Darlene say, yeah, we're gonna need a week. Yeah, you're gonna need at least some time to really process that. And it's really something where the Most High has us right now, and just really unlearning a lot of this stuff that we've kind of carried the water for a very long time without even questioning any of these things. And now when you start looking at it a lot closer, you begin to see a great number of cracks in a number of things. And it doesn't mean that life is over. It just means, I think it means life is beginning. And it's a very exciting time as far as I'm concerned. And I'm looking forward to more and more of the things that the Most High will be revealing in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. So I'm very excited about that. And it was really something that even this week, I did a post where I was telling people, I said, listen, you are not cursed. We are not a cursed people. And I'm going to tell you, I was expecting it, but still when it actually happens, it's really like, wow. I had quite a few people who were like, they were mad because how can you tell us we're not cursed? That's how we identify who we are. So your identity as an individual is wrapped up in a curse. So we got a great deal to talk about. Okay. So yeah, we talked about it. And usually what happens is I'll say this and then you give it about a day, maybe tomorrow, someone will leave a comment and it'll be full of scriptures of all of this stuff. But yeah, we talked about that. So again, if you're not familiar with this platform, because I had someone said, you just don't, I wish you would just show people, step by step, all these things, because I'm feeling conflicted right now. I'm feeling confused. I'm just losing my mind. And I was like, sis, go to our Linktree page. We have it all sectioned out for you, all the different series that we've done. I said, now I'm going to tell you up front, we are very detailed. If you have a mindset where something has to be told to you in 2 seconds, then that is not the place for you. It's not the place. It's not. But if you want to listen to something where the information, we are pouring through it meticulously and covering it as much of it as possible. And then what we can't cover, we're saying, hey, listen, here's the links, here's the source. You go to it yourself. If you can't do that and you need a TikTok, this is not a TikTok platform. It's not for that kind of stuff, because this is too serious for us to just kind of, no, it's all wrong. All of it's wrong. We got to do this. Go left, go left, go left, go left. No. We got to take our time with this. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we do. So yeah, so you're more than welcome to join us. That'll be tomorrow around noonish Eastern Standard Time over on mybondtube.com. Again, the topic will be, we're talking about taking a closer look at the whole concept of accepting Jesus in your heart. Where did that actually come from? What is it rooted in? And so are all the questions going to be answered tomorrow? Nope. I'm going to tell you right now, they're not. But we're going to provide as much information as possible for you to see yourself, the true history of where this actually comes from. Okay. All right. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. Let's see. Do I want to skip? I want to come back to one here. Okay, so I will jump to this one here and then I'll go back. Sunlight. Okay, so first of all, our wellness challenge that we did in the month of May, we did have a couple of people that did submit their readings. And so we're actually going to, if you're one of those people, congratulations. And so, yeah, my wife is going to reach out to you soon. Okay, so just be on the lookout soon, and she'll give you some further info. Okay, so hats off to you guys who have done the wellness challenge. And what was the challenge? The challenge was basically taking black seed oil. Again, this wasn't like a plug for us. You got to buy it from us. No. It was simply you just get black seed oil from whatever. Take your dosage a day for the next 30 days. And then, first take your numbers. If you're dealing with high blood pressure, if you're dealing with diabetes, if you're dealing with those two things, take your measurements at the beginning. And then at the end of the month, take your measurements again. And let's see where you stand when it comes to that. And I'm going to tell you right now, the overwhelming majority of people have done this. It has gone very well for them. Because, again, we are very committed on this platform, family, to annihilate, to eradicate diabetes from our people and diabetes and high blood pressure. We are on a mission to do that. And now for some of you hearing that you may think that's a little bit much. Well, we are in a bit of much mess right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So either we deal with the much now or we don't deal with it at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we might as well go to the mountain. You understand what I'm saying? But when you get closer to the mountain, you're going to see it's not really that bad. It's kind of like this week, I in the gym, the Stairmaster. Last week, I tried the Stairmaster. I couldn't even get through 5 minutes of it. I was like, oh, Lord, oh, my goodness. I couldn't get through that thing. The thing was crazy. And so, because I started on 5 or 6 or something like that, I was like, man, this ain't going too slow. Let me get up here and let me do this thing. And so anyway, about 2 minutes in, I was like, oh my goodness, man, this thing ain't no joke. And so, but then I heard my daughter, she was like, yeah, you tried the Stairmaster? I said, yeah. She said, yeah, because that thing, people who've done that, they said they lose a lot of weight with that. I was like, oh, really? Oh, really? So I said, okay, there's got to be a strategy to this thing. I got to find this out. So I did a search, and sure enough, yeah, yours truly, I was doing it wrong. Getting up there, acting like I'm going to be running the whole time up the steps. Nah, you got to slow your thing. You got to slow your roll on that thing. So I found it was a sister, and she was showing how she did it. And basically she said, for the first 2 minutes, you start here. Then after the first 2 minutes, then you do this. Then the next 2 minutes, it's like every 2 minutes you raise it up. Man, I went from 5 minutes, I was going on 16, 17 minutes. I was like, okay, I could do this now because I was doing it little by little. Well, that's what we're saying, the same thing with diabetes and high blood pressure. Family, I want you to look in my face. Look at my black face right now, okay? Can you look at me for a second? Can you listen to me for a second? Huh? If you are dealing with high blood pressure, if you are dealing with diabetes, you do understand that it can be eradicated. I know your doctors ain't telling you that, but I'm telling you that. But Dwayne, you're not licensed. You're right, I'm not. But I'm telling you what I know, and I'm telling you what I've seen, and the testimonies that are out there. Nobody's telling you to throw everything out and don't listen to them people anymore and only do that. No, you got to, again, to be responsible, you mentioned to your doctor, hey, listen, this is what I'm trying to do or whatever. Of course you do that, okay? Nobody's telling you to throw everything out. But there are safe ways you can wean off of that. But like I said, you go to a licensed person to tell you that. But what I am telling you is that you don't need their poison in order to get well. You don't. You don't need it. But why am I harping on this so much? Why am I getting so passionate about this? Because I understand how these things here, diabetes, high blood pressure, how it directly ties into how we process things psychologically. All this time, you heard me talking about mental illness, and there's always that one person, well, what you doing about it? Well, this is one way you deal with it. What you put in your mouth, what you eat. It has a direct impact on how you process things. And if it has a direct impact on this, it's also going to have a direct impact on how you perceive things spiritually. I don't care how many scriptures you may be able to memorize and to quote. If you're dealing with these ailments, it's going to have an adverse effect or impact on how you interpret, how you process those things. So this is why we're talking about this. And this is why it's very serious. See, I'm not going to be sitting up here, y'all. See, you can go to a channel right now. You can go to many channels right now. Y'all, they poisoning the waters. They poisoning our foods. And look at what Bill Gates is doing. Okay, if you want that info, you want that intel, there are many places that you can go right now where you can get that intel. Or you can say, you know what? I'm tired of talking about these folks. What can I do about this right now? And the thing is, there's a lot you can do, and it doesn't cost a whole lot at all. All it takes is commitment and sticking to it and the willingness to change. That's it. It's very simple. And once you start doing that, we're going to start seeing our people live longer lives, healthier lives. And when you start coming across all of this foolishness that's out here in the news, in the media, and all this stuff that you're seeing on TikTok and Twitter, you'll be able to properly process it so that you're not losing your mind every time you see an article on something. You understand what I'm saying? You're not losing your mind over it. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. These simple things and why they're so important. And we're going to continue to deal with these things. We're going to continue to come back to this over and over and over and over again. We want to see these solutions implemented on our people because they're too easy. And all it takes is, instead of going on that Stairmaster at 5, 6, 7, starting off on that, you may need to start on 2 or 1. And then you increment, and then you can conquer these things. Okay. My wife is here. Were you trying to say something?
Yeah, I have some images to send you.
Oh, okay.
From the winner of the Wellness Challenge.
Okay.
So you want to keep talking while I text you these images,
yeah.
or?
Yeah. Sure, no problem. All right, so
yeah, she sent her her starting numbers and her ending numbers.
Okay.
All
right, so real quick, as she's doing that, I'm going to read this book here. I don't know if y'all can see this here. It's called, I know it's a lot of light here. It's called The Healing Sun. I've read out of this book before. I'm just kind of getting it so that y'all can see it. Do a screenshot on it if you can. I know it's blurry. Give it a moment here. It's called The Healing Sun. You see it? The Healing Sun. Screenshot it. You can rewind and get to it later. Okay. Hold on for a second. Let me do this here right quick. Hold on for just a second. All right. The Healing Sun. All right. So there's something in here I want to read to you because, again, for this month, and I'm going to be doing a video on this soon. For this month, I want the focus to be on our people getting exposure to as much sunlight as possible. All right. And not just you just got the window open. I'm talking about where you're actually going outside for about 10, 15 minutes and the sun is hitting your face. You are facing the sun. I'm not telling you to pray to the sun, okay? So for the scary people out there that think, oh, see, that's where it begins. Next thing you know, he's going to be saying, call out Ra. Nobody's saying that. That's you saying that. I ain't saying that. But anyway, sunlight, cholesterol, and vitamin D. Let me try to read through this real quick, okay? There are other consequences of limiting your exposure to summer sunlight besides vitamin D deficiency. We hear a lot these days about the dangers of high cholesterol levels in the blood, but very little about the sun's role in lowering them. Cholesterol plays an important role in the body, being the precursor of the body's steroid hormones and similar in its molecular structure to vitamin D and to cortisone and the sex hormones we need for reproduction. At high levels, cholesterol can cause damage to the lining of the arteries, which can lead to high blood pressure, blockages, and thrombosis. Thrombosis. I guess I'm saying that right. What is not so well known is that sunlight can bring down blood cholesterol levels dramatically, and that the human body actually needs ultraviolet radiation to break down cholesterol. Both the vitamin D precursors 7-dehydrocholesterol and cholesterol are derived from a substance called squalene. There is evidence that whereas squalene, maybe that's what it is, squalene in the skin is converted to vitamin D in the presence of sunlight, in the absence of sunlight, it is converted into cholesterol. This would explain the high levels of cholesterol measured in populations at high latitudes and a seasonal variation of blood cholesterol, which also has been reported. It seems cholesterol levels go up in winter just as vitamin D levels fall, and is related to this amount of sunlight available. Let me read this one here real quick here. Another striking effect of the sun's rays on the human body is on blood pressure. It has been known for more than a half a century from some of the earliest experiments with ultraviolet rays that even a single exposure will lower blood pressure in normal individuals and can have an even more pronounced effect on individuals with high blood pressure. Research published in the American Journal for Physiology as long ago as 1935 showed that ultraviolet radiation reduced blood pressure in 60 to 70% of hypersensitive people. Some of the individuals who took part in the test experimented falls in stylistic pressure, the top number, systolic pressure, the top number of the blood pressure ratio, as much as 40 is mmHg, diastolic readings. The lower figure fell by 20 in some cases. If, as appears, ultraviolet radiation can significantly reduce blood pressure, then it should come as no surprise to learn that blood pressure is generally highest in winter, when solar radiation is at its lowest levels, and lowest in the summer when the sun's ultraviolet radiation is at its peak. Blood pressure is also affected by variations in skin pigmentation. Greater skin pigmentation is associated with higher blood pressure. People of color living in the United Kingdom and the United States have more hypertension than people of European origin. I can stop right there, but I'm going to finish this paragraph. Conversely, when they are living in the indigenous regions near the equator, they have lower mean blood pressure and lower frequency of hypertension, and they rarely have age-associated rise in blood pressure common to whites and African Americans. I'm going to stop there because there's too much here to go on. So let me just say this. Let me say it. The lie, see, this is what we're doing. The lie that these devils have been telling us for years, saying that black people, the reason why we have hypertension is because we eat crazy stuff. That's a small smidgen of it. Yes, the American diet is bad, okay? But we eat we're eating the same stuff that white people are eating. We're eating the American diet. So, but why is it so high amongst black folks? Well, the smidgen part of it, of course, is diet. It's number one, right? And lifestyle, the lack of exercise, right? That's the other thing. But the biggest contributor, according to what I just read there, is the fact that the climate that we're in as a people, it contributes to this rise and fall of our of blood pressure, because again, those winter months when we're not getting as much sunlight like we were back on the motherland, when we're not getting that, then it's going to have an impact on blood pressure, which also lends itself to hypertension and everything else. So this is why for our people, it's imperative for us to be in warmer climates, especially in climates that have a lot of sun, because that's what we're designed to be in. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're designed to be in those climates. So that's what's the contributing factor. But they want to tie it to, see, these are black folks, y'all need to stop eating that chicken. They always say that. And even be black folks saying this stuff. Y'all need to stop eating all that fried chicken and all this stuff. Like black folks, that's all we eat. All we eat is fried chicken and drink Kool-Aid. I had one person say that they're literally trying to be racist, and they thought I was going to don't say that. They say, you eating all that fried chicken and Kool-Aid. I say, first of all, that's so old. Maybe if you try hard enough, you'll catch up to us in the 90s. But ain't nobody drinking no Kool-Aid, okay? But the truth be told, many of us, we are tied to this Western diet. And in this Western diet, there's a lot of junk that they put in there. Even a lot of times in our best efforts, they're still putting stuff in there. So that's a contributing factor, right? But there are things that we can do that are very simple that can reverse that. And that is particularly us of melanin. We got to make sure that we get a daily dose of sunlight. So for this month, if you can make that effort, okay, I'll be doing more videos on this and prodding you a little bit more. Make that effort to get exposed to sun. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to see the difference in your body. You're going to see the difference in your attitude. You're going to see the difference. So we did black seed oil last month. This month, we're going to be focusing on making sure our people get exposure to the sunlight. Okay. So yeah, so we'll be doing that soon. And you ready? You said you sent me some stuff?
I sent you a text message.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up here. Just give me just a moment.
Hey, family. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday evening.
No, one name say, yeah, Kool-Aid played out a long time ago. Exactly.
Go to the top.
I see.
And so not those two, those first two.
Okay.
You can bring that first one over.
All right. So I'm bringing stuff on the screen right now, the first one.
So let's just do that first one. Okay. So Sister Ella, she sent us her blood sugar and her blood pressure numbers, right? She did the wellness challenge and she took her numbers May 1st. Okay. And what you're looking at on the screen, this is her blood sugar reading May 1st. All right. She was at 128 mg over DL, right? So her corresponding A1Cs was 6.1%. All right. So as you can see, she was in the red. All right. And 128 is high blood sugar. So she was hyperglycemic on May 1st. All right. So let's pull that second picture over, Dwayne.
All right. So y'all got that in your mind, right?
You can leave that one up.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
And so Sister Ella, she did not take black seed oil for the whole month. She only took black seed oil 15 days. She said, I didn't get it done, every day. I only took it like 15 days out of the month. After 15 days, she moved from the red into the orange, and she went from hyperglycemic to slightly too high blood sugar. So she went from a 128 to a 118. Her corresponding A1Cs went from 6.1 to 5.7. And that's only 15 days, family. Wow. That's not the whole month. That's only 15 days of black seed oil brought her from the red down into the orange. Okay.
Wow.
So that's Sister Ella. That's her blood sugar. So we can take that off. And then we're going to show you her blood pressure.
And just imagine if she had did the whole month.
She had done the whole month. Yeah,
but
exactly.
still, that's awesome. So let me go on in.
And
you want me to do this one?
Yep. And listen, y'all, we know age matters, lifestyle matters, pre-existing conditions matter, stress level, all that stuff matters,
Yes.
because everybody is different and dealing with a different set of factors. But we see this. And anybody who has carried black seed oil in their stores, we all see it. We all see it. It has a dramatic effect on the body. So this is Sister Ella. Her blood pressure, May 1st, was 133 over 95. All right. Your blood pressure reading of 133/95 indicates hypertension stage 1. All right. So that's the lowest form of high blood pressure, meaning you're at the beginning stages of high blood pressure. All right. Which is unhealthy because it means your heart already has a hard time supplying your body, your vessels, and your organs with blood. OK, so this is from a website, Blood Pressure OK. So that was May 1st. And then we're going to show you after 15 days of black seed oil. So her blood pressure went down to 126 over 88. So she went from hypertension stage 1 to high normal. And the definition you can see at the bottom, it says in most cases, a high normal blood pressure is still considered normal. So she moved from hypertension stage 1 blood pressure to normal blood pressure with 15 days only. 15 days of black seed oil. So
All right.
I wanted to do a little
Yeah, I'm trying to do.
I know. I should have had a little graphic. Congratulations,
Yes.
Sister Ella. Congratulations. We're going to be sending you 6 months of black seed oil, 6-month supply, free of charge of black seed oil, so you can continue,
Yes, yes, yes.
continue to keep those numbers under control.
Yes.
And in check. And black seed oil is amazing for every part of your body.
All right.
Your kidneys, your livers, everything. So, so congratulations. And we even had people like Sister Melissa. She wrote in, she said, I missed the challenge, but I'm buying my black seed anyway, and I'm going to do it myself. And so, congratulations to all of you who definitely, whether you did the challenge with us or whether you're just starting now, just know you are definitely making a positive impact in your body, and your body thanks you. So yeah, congratulations, Sister Ella.
All right. She get the band on this one. Ha. All right, Ella, this is for you. Ha. Ha. The band had to come out on that one. All right. Oh, yeah. Sister Ella. Sister Ella. Sister Ella. Lowering it. Hey. 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 Come on. Hey. Come on, Sister Ella. Come on, Sister Ella. Come on. Hey. I may have to stand up on this one now. Woo! All right, Sister Ella in the house. She said, I ain't playing. She said, now if y'all want to play around, you go ahead, but I ain't playing. So awesome, Sister Ella. Thank you so much, Sister Ella, for doing that. We need our people. We need our elders. And, we need y'all to live a long and healthy life, okay? We need y'all, okay? We ain't checking out on y'all. We believe in you. We want the best for you. We want you to survive, and we want you to thrive, and we strongly believe that your best days are ahead of you, okay? Now, I know, this time, all right, well, I'm getting older up there, and I might as well just go on to my grave. Shut up. Nope. You can still be out here. You can still be out here with some of the younger people out here doing your thing. You can still be out here. We need you, all right? So we appreciate you. Know that we love you, and for all of those who are out there that are trying, we applauding you too, okay? So you keep it up, okay? Keep it up. And we'll be doing everything we can. You just know you got some cheerleaders over here saying, you can do it. You can do it. Okay. That's what we want. Tangible results. Tangible. We want to see some tangible improvement in our people. All right. And it can be done. So hats off to you, Sister Ella, and everybody else that has done it. Good for you. Keep pressing. Okay. And we're going to wean our people off of this demonic system, all right? Even if I got to keep saying things over and over again. Get to the point. You spent too much time on that. I'm just trying to get to the point. Well, you keep on moving. The rest, we're going to help our people. We're going to help our people. We're going to help the young. We're going to help the middle folks. We're going to help the older too, all right? That's what we're going to focus on. We ain't going to just say, all right, y'all stretch your hands out to the West Coast or to the East Coast, and we're going to send our love and light over there. Okay, well, why are you doing that? Let's put something in the mail for them and make sure they're taking that too, okay? You can do all of that, but make sure we're doing something tangible on that note, okay? All right. Well, anyway, let's move right on. Let's see. I had one news story that I wanted to mention. Is it this one? No, yeah. Okay, I will say this before I get to that story, and then it will be done. If you didn't see the video that I posted, not the one that I posted about the black business, I ain't talking about that one. but it was one that I posted exclusively on mybondtube.com. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, please watch it. Oh, I did see that. Thank you, Nguzo. Appreciate that super chat. We appreciate you. Yes, Nguzo, he did his super chat. Really appreciate y'all for that. You could do that now right here on this platform. We enabled it finally. So yeah, if you would like to give, there's another way you could do it, but you don't have to. Okay, we ain't here beating you up on that. Okay, but yeah, so there you go. So thank you, Nguzo. Appreciate that. If you didn't see that, watch that video. Definitely need you to see it, because I want people to understand the value of having your own stuff. Okay, having your own stuff, having your own platforms. Now we're here on YouTube. All right, YouTube is good and all that. They allow us to be on YouTube, but see, here's the thing I understand. YouTube is their property. YouTube is their house. It's their plantation. It's their rules. So I'm not going to be getting up here mad and just have this sense of entitlement and how dare you guys do it. Now, the thing I do get mad at is when they post where they do stuff and they're not clear about the rules. That's the thing I don't like, because, someone got offended and so you ready to rip away videos and all this stuff and it's like, well, what is it? Or what exactly did I do? Well, we can't tell you. See, that kind of stuff I don't like. I don't like that stuff. But if you have a clear set of rules and you're telling people, hey, listen, you can't do this, you can't say this, you can't do that, whatever, it's your stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we're not going to subject ourselves. So we had to learn a little bit. So we said, enough of that. We're going to build our own platform. And thanks to many of you, we did that on mybondtube.com, where you'll find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. Thanks to people like Avery Black, Wanea. There's other people as well that have been uploading stuff on there. So thank you. Really appreciate that. And, I've been uploading when I can as well. So you'll find a whole bunch of things like movies and documentaries and a whole list of things. You can find that on there. Okay. A lot of stuff, content are things that we cannot show and will not show on this platform. But real quick, one of the things I touched on that video, I was talking about a video that I saw Candace Owens. She was recently saying how YouTube actually came after her because of her stance when it comes to gender identity, right? Because like her, I do believe this as well, that there's one man and one woman. That's what I believe, period. I don't believe in any of the other stuff. That's what I believe. And as I was saying in the video, that doesn't mean that I'm going around and cussing folks out that don't fit in that view, the view that I have. I'm going to respect people regardless of what they do and what they don't, whatever, until you give me a reason not to. All right. I can't even count on one hand the harsh interactions I've had with people who are about that life. And this is what I was touching on WONI radio today. Because what you see on the news, what they like to focus on are all these little protests. You got the LGBT on one side of the street, then you got the people who are the conservatives on the other side, and they're yelling at each other and all this other stuff. You notice that it's always like in places like New York or LA. If it's in any town, USA, where the rest of many of us live, or any island, any island, not USA, but any island or any continent or whatever, you notice it don't really take place there. You get up. If you need to go to the grocery store, you go to the grocery store. If you need to go to the mall, you go to the mall. You want to go to the park, you go to the park. None of us really can say that we have this every day with you just come across these people who are just seething and just wanting to make sure that you accept me and all this stuff. Most of us don't have those kind of interactions. When we go to the store or library or whatever, we may see people of those persuasions, but we navigate around it and keep it moving. That's it. There's no fighting. There's no arguing or nothing like that. There's nothing to be said on that matter. Just if I give you a $5, make sure you give me my change back. That's it. I would expect that from anybody else. But they want to put out this thing to make it seem as if, by just simply disagreeing with it, then that's problematic and that's grounds for you to have stuff removed. So we're not going to play that game. But we can talk about those issues, and we need to talk about those issues. And I did upload a video. I guess it was today. I uploaded a video earlier today of a sister at a school, school board meeting. And she was reading some of the content that they're putting in these books. And it's very explicit. But you have parents all over the U.S. that have been pointing this stuff out, not just in the U.S. and other countries as well, that have been pointing this stuff out. and what they are indoctrinating and they are pushing on children. Okay. And you know what groups I'm talking about. So now it's, we're at the stage right now where I can't even mention that, because if I dare go into that too deep, then I'm subject to whatever. But that doesn't mean that's just on this platform. But listen, we talk real talk on that platform, and I show you, and I got a ton of pictures. One day I'm gonna do a video when I'm gonna show you all the videos and the pictures of those before and after operations too, because people need to see those things. It can be a bit squeamish, but it is what it is, because we want our people to see the truth. And we want them to be exposed to the truth. And we want them to understand what this agenda really is about. So you're not going to really hear me get too much on this platform when it's talking about those things. Just know that. But just know that, yes, we're very aware of it. And this is why we have our own platform where we can talk about that stuff and other things the way we need to talk about it, so that our people are informed and prepared. Now, if you listen, if you checked out the series we did on circumcision, oh my, if you haven't done it, I would strongly urge you to check out that series if you have not checked it out, because what you will discover is more than circumcision. There's a whole lot tied to that. And it's tied to a specific group. Okay. But thankfully, we have a platform where we can go in all of those details and you can get the full history. See, I'm not interested in finding out who's behind the curtain. That's not enough for me. I want to drag the man or the woman behind the curtain out from behind the curtain. I want to sit them down and I want to do a DNA test on them, because I want to know everything. I want to know how you got there. How'd you get that position? Who gave you these ideas? Why are you focusing on these different groups? I want to know everything, not just pointing out, oh, that's Bill Gates. That ain't enough for me. I need to know all of it. And so that's what we try to do, is we try to give, again, like I was saying earlier, as much information that we can get our hands on and provide for people. We're going to put it out there so that our people can make informed decisions and be, when it comes to these matters, But you understand, when we're on certain platforms, we really can't go into much detail here. But make no mistake about it, we're going to make sure that we have a place where we can talk about it, because as we went through the other thing, that we went through recently, right? You're talking about people's lives. And so we had to be very clear on that. And when they started shutting that down, then we said, okay, let's take all of this over to our platform where we can talk about it. And because now you're talking about lives. In this particular case, and now we're talking about, they're making a beeline to our younger people. And when you start messing with children, that's where I'm saying enough is enough. You don't, no, sir. No, sir. We're going to speak out on that. Okay. So, yeah. So this is why platforms like mybondtube.com or, WONI radio or, other ones that are out there, I know we're on BitChute and I know we're on Odyssey, and, those things have its place, but we don't really have a lot of control over those platforms. They do advertise that they're like freedom of speech or whatever. But I'm going to tell you right now, Odyssey has blocked some people too. I've seen that. I have seen Odyssey. If you type in certain words, it will come back and says you're not allowed to look. It said something to the effect that it was like, I'm sorry, but you need to try another word. I'm not putting it. Has 3 letters in it. I ain't going to say nothing else, but I typed it in there and it was like, I'm sorry, you can't bring that up. You can't talk about them. Seriously. And, so that's Odyssey and BitChute is the same way. So we're not dependent on them. So we said, let's have our own thing where we can put our own stuff on there and we're running as much as we can. Now, the only thing we're not running is the internet, but everything else on there, we run, we own, we operate, and that's how that works. And that's the value of, mybondtube.com. So like I said in the video, there's 2 ways you can support. Of course, keep watching. Watch it, share with your friends and family and all of that. Also, number 2, we made it very clear on ways that you can support, on there. So check out that video that I posted on there just recently, and I go through that and I show you how you can do that as well. Okay. 100% of what you contribute to that, it goes right to that platform. and that's it. It ain't going into my pocket because I'm not interested in that. When I'm only thing I'm interested in is making sure that truth gets out, and because it's a lot of work we got to do to untangle and get out of all of this muck that's been thrown on us for years and years and years. So I just want you to be aware of that yeah, we're going to have to do some more dancing around here when it comes to that particular topic when we're talking about LGBT. But make no mistake about it, we're dancing, but it may be musical chairs, but I'll guarantee you that when the music stops every time, we're going to have our seat. I don't know about anybody else, but we're going to have our seat. But anyway, let's move on to the final thing I wanted to bring up right quick, and then we're going to end it, and then we're going to head on over to mybondtube.com. Okay, remember, for those that are just joining us, we're going to have our movie night over there tonight starting. Give me about 20 minutes to a half an hour. We'll begin. But prior to that, I may have some music playing, so it has some old school music playing or something like that in the meantime. So, you can head over there whenever you wish, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and pull this up here, and then, like I said, again, we'll be done. This is what's going on over on the continent on this same topic. The Archbishop of Canterbury, well, he's got some words to say because he's very upset at Uganda because you got African countries that are saying, no, we ain't going that way. We're not with this whole agenda that the West is trying to push on us at all. And when you think about it, because like I said, family, when you got, this is why history is so important. This is why it's so important. And I commented on somebody's post. It was earlier. I said, what was the indigenous belief system when it came to LGBT? What was the indigenous belief system when it, I'm talking about Africa now. What was the indigenous belief system? And because once you begin to start studying the culture, the practices of the continent, the spirituality of these people, you're going to find that you ain't going to find a lot of this stuff. These are just, a lot of this stuff is recent developments. Now, did you have, gay people who were same-sex stuff going on the continent? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But it wasn't to the degree that the West is pushing it. Anything that the West is pushing is not good for us, period. That's your rule of thumb. If the West is pushing it, you need to go the opposite way. All right. So anyway, so here you got the Archbishop of Canterbury. He's quite upset at Uganda because they're not playing along. The Archbishop of Canterbury, the Most Reverend Justin Welby, said today, I have recently written to my brother in Christ, the primate. Why would you call it? Anyway, the primate of Uganda, Archbishop Stephen Kazimba, to express my grief and dismay at the Church of Uganda's support for the Anti-Homosexuality Act. I make this public statement with sorrow and with continuing prayers for reconciliation between our churches and across the Anglican communion. I am deeply aware of the history of colonial rule in Uganda, so hierarchy. I messed that word up. Y'all see it there. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Resisted by its people. But this is not about imposing. Now, check this part out. But this is not about imposing Western values on our Ugandan Anglican sisters and brothers. It's about reminding them of the commitments we have made as Anglicans to treat every person with the care and respect they deserve as children of God. So in other words, you are pushing it. How can you say that in the same sentence? We're not pushing Western values, but what we are saying is our God tells you that you need to do what we tell you to do. Anyway, within the Anglican communion, we continue to disagree over matters of sexuality, but our commitment to God-given human dignity, we must be united. I have reminded Archbishop Kazimba that Anglicans around the world have long been united in our opposition to criminalization of homosexuality and LGBTQ people. Supporting such legislation is a fundamental departure from our commitment to uphold the freedom and dignity of all people. There is no justification for any province of the Anglican Communion to support such laws, not in our resolutions, not in our teachings, and not in the gospel we share. So you're pushing your Western values. How can you say you're not pushing Western values, but you're pushing them? The Church of Uganda, like many Anglican provinces, holds a traditional Christian teaching. Christianity began with y'all. Anyway, traditional teaching, Christian teaching on sexuality and marriage set out in Resolution I.10 of 1988 Lambeth Conference. That resolution also expressed a commitment to minister pastorally and sensitively to all, regardless of sexual orientation, and to condemn homophobia. Nobody's afraid of, I don't know why they keep saying it. I have said to Archbishop Kanzimba that I am unable to see how the Church of Uganda's support of the Anti-Homosexual Act is consistent with its many statements in support of this resolution. But you got countries, unfortunately, in Uganda is one, but you do have other countries in on the continent that's kind of juggling this a little bit. Like, well, we just, again, let me go back and reiterate. So for the YouTube AI bots that are listening, make sure you read me right. What I am saying is that I am in full support of treating people, humans, with respect. I don't care what you do. So if a man wants to wear whatever he wants to wear, that's fine. I'm talking about it's fine as far as his life is concerned. I don't have an issue with that because I don't have to live with that person. If they are working and they're on the job or something like that, and I have to interact with them, as long as the dialogue and everything is about work, I don't have an issue with that. I don't. What I do have an issue with is when you cross the line and begin to push laws, rules, and regulations against people who don't agree with that. That's where I have a problem with that. So just because I don't agree, now all of a sudden I'm being portrayed as a villain. I'm being portrayed as someone who, you just ain't, you hate all these people. It's always this, you either right or left. It's that kind of thing. But as I said to you, and I'm sure, like I said, many of you agree on a day-to-day basis, many of us do encounter people of these different persuasions and don't have any problems. We do our thing. We go shopping. We go to the park. We do this or go to a ball game or whatever. You encounter these people, you see them, and you just keep it moving. I mean, the ones you can identify, but, it's it. You just keep it moving. Nobody's out here throwing rocks at them or chasing them down the street. And I would not be in any support of anything like that at all. But what I don't like is when it's being imposed, such in the case of what's happening here in Uganda and the rest of Africa for that matter. Now, of course, I have a lot more to say on this topic and where it's really coming from, or should I say who it's coming from. But I'm not going to say it here on this platform because I've talked about this already. I will mention this because it's fact. Well, no, there's an article. All you got to do is, I'll just say this, ask the question in your favorite search engine. How many genders are in Judaism? I'm going to leave that to you. All right. So all you got to do is look that up. And so anyway, the article, the story goes on, and he's like, trying to be, wishy-washy, but at the same time, and not wishy-washy, but he's being kind of forceful too. And basically, they're probably going to say, listen, if you don't get on board with us, we're going to strip your church and all this other stuff. Good. Then it needs to happen. In fact, get on out of there. But this is a war. This is an information war that we're in, family, as we're closing up, because that's all I have for you right now. But this is, in fact, an information war that we're in right now. And we have to make sure that we are doing everything we can to make sure that our people get the information that they need. There's, I'm talking about real information, tangible information, where you're giving people information that is going to change lives and it's going to make a tangible change, if you will, difference in their lives. So such as in the case where we were talking about the whole issue of high blood pressure and diabetes. That's just one. But there's many other things as well. So for those of you who are listening or watching and you have a social media platform, big or small, doesn't matter. Whatever you use it for, but make sure you carve out a little space on that platform to make sure that you are, in fact, providing that kind of information for our people out here, and because we need it, and for the time being, while we still have access to such platforms, we need to make sure that we're making the most of it. I saw this thing, and it was really, I'm glad he said it. I didn't watch the video. I only saw a clip of it. It was Umar Johnson. He said this. He said the title of it says, "The revolution will not be financed." I thought that was really something. He said the revolution will not be financed. And reason why I think that's something is because of the fact, for those who are out here pounding the pavement, screaming and hollering for reparations, the reparations that you receive will by default remove you from any such revolution that we need to have. And our people, we need a revolution of order, of justice, of righteousness, and dignity, and a sense of right versus wrong. We need a revolution in those areas. We need a revolution when it comes to our health as well. Those are the revolutions that we desperately need. We don't need a revolution that has been sponsored by a certain government or sponsored by a particular politician or whatever. We don't need any more sponsors. You are the sponsor. I am the sponsor. So that's what we need in this hour. We need to be able to, we need to start investing in ourselves. And it doesn't take a lot at all. We need to uproot those that are amongst us that ain't about it. In other words, they got some other agendas and stuff going on. And we need to focus on the things that we are getting right. And there are many, many of our people that are doing it the right way. Get behind those people, family, find them. A lot of those people, believe it or not, they're not on social media. They don't have a YouTube platform, but make sure you make it a point to highlight and to encourage our people out here that are doing it right. Fathers out here that are doing it right, mothers out here, husbands and wives that are out here that are doing it right. Our singles, keep them, that are doing it right, that are focused and living their best life. Continue to encourage them and be an encouragement to your people. Okay. Some of the work that we got to do is going to be dirty, meaning that when I say dirty is, like the video I did the other day, calling, just pointing out, this whole dress code nonsense. We're going to have to do videos on that from time to time, because that's our way of drawing a line and saying enough is enough. We're not, Black culture isn't ratchet culture. You keep that. Ratchet culture belongs to people who want to be ratchet. If you want to be ratchet, you want to walk around with have no clothes on and want to walk around, you want to go to fine restaurants in your pajamas and all that stuff, then you do that. But you ain't with us. Okay. That's not Black culture at all. It's not. So, but we got to call that out for what it is in love. But nonetheless, we got to call that out, because if any community that doesn't have its own standards, it's not a community. It's a disunity. Any community that cannot establish and maintain its own standards, it's no longer a community. It's a disunity. All right. Something to keep thinking about, family. And that's about does it for me. So, okay. So right now the time is 8:04. Get about 8:20 or so. We'll go ahead and start our movie for tonight over on mybondtube.com. And that has been made possible by those of you who have contributed to that platform. Thank you again. We really appreciate y'all. And that's it. That wraps it up for us, this edition of our community update. You guys listen.